Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Saakhi Dewan and today we'll be discussing CUET Psychology 2023 paper. So let us start with the very first question. Question number one states, Dash is an objective and standardized measure of an individual's mental and or behavioral characteristics. So the key terms in this statement are objective and standardized measure and individual's mental or behavioral characteristics. So we clearly know that it is a psychological test that we call as an objective and standardized measure, which is used to assess an individual's mental and or behavioral characteristics. So the answer to this question is option number four, psychological test. Let us move to the next question. Question number two. Rajshri is an excellent dancer with fine flexibility of body. According to the theory of multiple intelligences, what skill is she high on? So the theory of multiple intelligences was given by Howard Gardner. He suggested 8 different types of intelligences. Amongst these, it is the bodily kinesthetic skill or bodily kinesthetic intelligence that makes Rajshri an excellent dancer and provides her a flexibility of body. So the correct answer to this question is option number one, bodily kinesthetic skill. Let us move to the next question. Question number three. In 1905, Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon made the first successful attempt to formally measure intelligence. In 1912, Dash designed the concept of intelligence question. So, the first assessment of intelligence was given by Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon in 1905, which was later revised. After that, in 1912, this person gave the concept of IQ. So, the person who gave us the concept of IQ in 1912 was William Stern. So, the correct answer of this question is option number three, William Stern. Let us move to the next question. Ayush has been startup which has grown successful over a short period of time. This is because of his commitment, persistence, patience, hard work, vigilance, and goal-directed behavior. According to Indian traditional view of intelligence, Ayush has, so we know that it is entrepreneurial competence of which the characteristics are high commitment, high persistence, patience, hard work, vigilance, and goal-directed behavior. According to Indian tradition, it is entrepreneurial competence. So the correct answer is option number four, entrepreneurial competence. Question number five. The intelligence of identical twins reared in different environments correlates about options are 0.90, 0.72, 0.60, 0.50. So there was a study conducted with identical twins to assess their intelligence in two environments when they are reared together and when they are reared apart. It was found that identical twins who are reared apart correlate to about 72%. That is option number two, 0.72. Let us move to the next question then. Question number six. Robert Sternberg proposed the triarchic theory of intelligence. He conceptualized three types of intelligences. It was proposed in 1950. He defined intelligence as the ability to judge well, understand well, and reason well. Componential intelligence also refers to a traditional notion of intelligence. Contextual intelligence refers to the practical intelligence known as street smartness. So we know that the first statement is correct. He conceptualized three intelligences. Those were componential, experiential, and contextual intelligence. He proposed the theory of triarchic intelligence in 1950. However, he did not define intelligence as the ability to judge well, understand well, and reason well. This definition was provided to us by Alfred Binet, not by Robert Sternberg. Componential intelligence also refers to traditional notion of intelligence. This statement is again not true. And lastly, contextual intelligence refers to practical intelligence known as street smartness. We know that this statement is true. So the correct answer is option number four, A, B, and E. Question number seven provides us with two lists. The first list provides us with the different theories proposed of intelligence, and the second list provides us with the people who propose those theories. So the first theory is unit factor theory. So we know that unit factor theory was given to us by Alfred Binet. Then we have two-factor theory, which was given by Charles Spearman, hierarchical model given to us by Arthur Jensen, and structure of intellect model given to us by J.P. Gilbert. So the correct answer to this question is option number 3. With this, let us move on to the next question. Question number 8. Rohan works in a multinational company in the US, and in order to avoid racism, he makes everyone call him Ronnie. Identify the aspect of self he is trying to hide. So, in this, he's trying to avoid racism by asking everybody to call him a name that sounds more foreign, and therefore he is avoiding his social identity. The identity that is given, that is produced as a result of the society he lives in, is social identity, and he's trying to avoid racism based on his social identity. So the correct answer is option number 2, social identity. Let us move to question number 9. I love to wear Western clothes is an example of which dimension of trait according to Alport's trait theory. So Gordon Alport gave us 3 types of trait: cardinal trait, central trait, and secondary trait. The type of clothes we prefer to wear is a part of secondary trait. Question number 10 provides us a tool list. The first part of list 1 states tested as a tool for psychological diagnosis. So it is EPQR, that is Eysenck Personality Questionnaire revised, that we utilize as a tool for psychological diagnosis. Second is self-report measure. So we know that MMPR, that is Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Test or inventory, is used as a self-report measure. The first say used for career guidance. So we know 16PS, that is 16 personality questionnaire given by Raymond Foucault, is used in career guidance and vocational training. And lastly, conducted in 2 phases, performance topper and inquiry. So it is Rorschach envelope test that is conducted in these 2 phases. So the correct answer is option number 2. I hope this makes sense. Let us move on to question number 11. If you have a feeling that you must do everything perfectly and get stressed when it does not happen, then such beliefs are the result of whenever we have a feeling that we must do everything perfectly, that means we are putting the pressure on ourselves. We are setting the bar or the standards for ourselves. So whenever we are setting the bar or the standards for ourselves, it is called as a pressure known as internal pressure. The pressure that stems from inside us that we place on ourselves. So the correct answer is option number 3, internal pressure. Question number 12. According to GAS, General Adaptation System, the stage 1 will experience the activation of adrenal pituitary cortex system for fight or flight. So the stage that experiences the activation of adrenal pituitary cortex system for fight or flight is the alarm reaction stage. That is the very first stage in resistance to stress. So the answer is option number 3, alarm reaction stage. In the 13 states, Pawan could not get admission in the college of his choice as he could not qualify the entrance exam. He is facing. So whenever we are not able to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves or that others set for us, then we feel frustrated. So the correct answer of this question would be option number 2, frustration. Let us move to the next question. Arrange the following sentences as per the cognitive theory of stress given by Lazarus. Appraisals are very subjective and will depend on past experiences of the subject. The perception of stress depends on the individual cognitive approach of events and resources available to deal with them. Primary appraisal refers to the perception of new or changing environment as positive, neutral, or negative in its consequences. When we perceive an event as stressful, we are likely to make a secondary appraisal. Lazarus distinguished between 2 types of appraisal. So, we have to arrange them in a particular order. So, according to the order, the first statement should be that the perception of stress depends on the individual cognitive approach of events and resources available to deal with them. This will be followed by the 2 types of appraisals that Lazarus provided us. So, E, statement E, which will then be followed by primary appraisal, which refers to the perception of a new or changing environment, positive, neutral, or negative in its consequences, which will further be followed by Statement number D, when we perceive an event as stressful, we are likely to make a secondary appraisal. And lastly, the appraisals are very subjective and will depend on past experiences of the subject. So the correct answer will be option number 3, B, E, C, D, A. With this, let us move to the next question. Question number 15. Identify the statements which reflect coping strategies given by Enlor and Parker. I am able to schedule my time better. I fall sick immediately. I express emotions openly and directly. I accept situations that cannot be altered. I hate myself. So, according to the coping strategies given by Enlor and Parker, the statements that hold true for them will be unable to schedule my time better. That is the first statement. Then, this statement number C, I express emotions openly and directly. And lastly, I accept situations that cannot be altered. So option number 3, A, C, D will be the correct. With this, let us move on to question number 16. Archana suffers from evaluation anxiety and develops writer's cramp before an examination. MRIs and X-rays reveal no physical cause. This is an example of. So whenever we develop a physical handicap or this disease which has no known cause and a part an organ of our body stops working with no biological cause, then this is known as conversion disorder. So the answer to this question would be conversion disorder. Let us move to question number 17. Identify which one of the following is an example of the illusion of grandeur. Sunita thinks that aliens are contacting her. Mona thinks that she is a world famous singer. Raj thinks his food is poison. And Sunena thinks that the news anchor is conveying message of aliens. So out of these, statement number 2, that is Mona thinks she is a world famous singer. That is, she perceives herself to be somebody great. That will be an example of the illusion of grandeur. So answer is option number 2. Question number 18. Ravi smashed the ice cream out of the hand of a child in junior school. This is an example of dash aggression. So this will be an example of proactive aggression in which a person bullies others without any provocation. The child did not provoke Ravi to bully him. The bullying happened without any provocation. So it is an example of proactive aggression. Question number 19. Hema was very particular about setting the objects like furniture, decorative pieces, utensils, etc. in a house in a certain way. She would feel very disturbed and stressed if the objects were not placed in an orderly manner. She may be showing. So whenever a person has an innate need to set objects in a particular manner and feel very disturbed and stressed when the objects are not placed in the order that they wanted, then these are symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD. So the correct answer is option number 2, obsessive compulsive disorder. Let us move to question number 20. According to the organic approach, abnormal behavior occurs when there is a conflict between emotion and reason. There is imbalance in the four essential body fluids. Body and brain is not working. Evil resides in the individual. So we have to answer this according to the organic approach. So according to the organic approach, when the body and brain are not working properly, that shows that the behavior is abnormal. Number 21, identify the disorder in children where behavior by parents and teachers is stated as driven by a motor. So the correct answer of this particular statement will be ADHD whenever the child's behavior is described as driven by a motor. That means that the child is hyperactive, child is impulsive. With this, let's move to the next question, question number 22. Rani feels excessive guilt for her performance in her career, which is making her unable to carry daily tasks in a constructive manner. Psychiatrists have diagnosed her with depression. Select from the given list which is not a factor predisposing towards depression. Not a factor. So genetic makeup, we know that it is a predisposing factor, depression. Age again is a predisposing factor, depression. Gender as well is a predisposing factor to depression. Alogia is a symptom of schizophrenia and it is not a predisposing factor to depression. So the correct answer will be option number 4, alogia. Alogia refers to the poverty of speech in schizophrenic people. Let us move on to the next question. Question number 23. International Classification of Diseases, ICD-10 is prepared by, so we know that ICD-10 is prepared by World Health Organization. So the correct answer is option number 2, World Health Organization. You can also repeat the picture of the cover page of ICD-10. At the end of the page, it is clearly stated that it is prepared by World Health Organization Geneva. Let's move to the next question. Question number 24. Whenever Jessica enters the airplane, she experiences palpitations, choking, nausea, and discomfort despite having traveled multiple times that way. Jessica may be experiencing a disorder called. So, she is experiencing symptoms such as palpitations, choking, nausea, and discomfort. These are all symptoms of panic disorder. She experiences a panic attack whenever she travels by an airplane. So the correct answer is option number 3, panic disorder. Identify the features of psychological disorders. So there are 4 Ds in abnormal behavior: deviance, distress, danger, and dysfunction. So out of these, option number options given are deviant, dependent, distress, distraction, and danger. So out of these, we have been given A part, deviance, C, distress, and E, danger. So the correct answer will be option number 2, A, C, and E. Question 26. Identify the anxiety disorders from the options given below. Trauma and stress or related disorder, specific phobia, obsessive compulsive disorder, separation anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. So the correct answer of the same is specific phobia, separation anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. These are all classified under the purview of anxiety disorder. So the correct answer is option 3, B, T, and E. I hope this is clear. With this, let us move on to question number 27. Identify the steps followed by therapists for phobias using systematic desensitization. So, systematic desensitization was given to us by Wolf. It is used for treating phobias. So, under this, the therapist prepares a hierarchy of anxiety-provoking situations. The therapist relaxes the client to think about the least anxiety-provoking situation. The client is interviewed to elicit fear-provoking situations. The client is asked to stop thinking of the fearful situation if they feel the slightest of tension. The client is asked to imagine more severe fear-provoking situations while maintaining relaxation. The client gets systematically desensitized to fear. When we arrange them in order, the first thing that happens in systematic desensitization is the interview. So the client is interviewed to understand the fear-provoking situation, which is then followed by preparing a hierarchy of anxiety-provoking situation. After this, the therapist asks the client to relax themselves and think of the least anxiety-provoking situation, which is then followed by asking the client to stop thinking if they feel the slightest of tension. Then gradually, the client is asked to think about more fear-provoking situations, and thus the client gets systematically desensitized. So the correct order would be option number 2, C, A, B, D. With this, let us move on to question number 28. When we meet people, we make impressions about their personal qualities. So clearly, the key term here is impression. Whenever we make impressions about a person's personal quality, this is known as impression formation. So the answer is option number 4, impression formation. Question number 29, extremeness of an attitude is an indicator of. So there are 4 features of attitude: wavelength, extremeness, centrality, and simplicity and complexity. Out of these, extremeness is an indicator of how positive and negative an attitude is. Valence describes if an attitude is positive and negative towards the attitude object, which is then further elaborated by extremeness to state how positive and negative the attitude is. So the answer is option number 2. Let us move to the next question. Question number 30. Prejudices can be minimized by highlighting individual identity, following self-fulfilling prophecy, translating negative feeling into discrimination, and having strong social identity. So prejudices are held against a particular group. So to minimize prejudices, we can highlight individual identity. So the correct answer is highlighting individual identity, option number 1. Let us move to question number 31. Women are bad drivers. This is an example of. So women are bad drivers is an example of a stereotype. 42. To change the attitude towards change. tobacco in an individual who is abusing the substance by using cognitive dissonance, the following steps should be followed. Identifying the cognition to be changed, establishing the correct cognition, that is understanding tobacco causes oral cancer, resulting in cognitive consistency, adopting the correct attitude, that is, I will not chew tobacco, understanding that both cognitions are dissonant or out of tune. So when we arrange them in order, the first would be to identify that the cognition needs to be changed, which will then be followed by establishing the correct cognition of understanding that tobacco causes oral cancer, which will be followed by understanding that both cognitions are dissonant, which will then be followed by adopting the correct attitude, and lastly, it will result in cognitive consistency. So the correct answer is option number 3. Question number 33 provides us with two lists. The first part of list 1 says balanced theory of attitude change. So we know that the balanced theory, that is also known as the POX triangle, was provided to us by Fritz Haber. So it will be married option number 2 in list 2. Improvement in performance in the presence of others. Improvement in performance in the presence of others is known as social facilitation. That is, others' presence facilitates the performance. C part, cluster negative ideas about a specific group. So we have, when we harbor negative ideas about a specific group, it is known as a stereotype. And lastly, two concept theory of attitude was given to us by S.M. Mohsen. So the correct answer is option number 1. Question number 34, a collection of people who are assembled for a special purpose. So whenever people assemble for a special purpose, they are known as audience. So answer is option number 3. Audience is a group that was assembled for a special purpose, such as for watching a movie, for watching a concert. So the correct answer is option number 3. Question number 35. Identify the stages of group formation. There are 5 stages in group formation: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Of these 5, the ones given here are option D, storming, and option E, none. So the correct answer is option number 2, B, D, E. Let us move to question number 31. Suggest a few ways to reduce social loafing: providing group projects, increasing the pressure to work hard, working collective effort that is recognizable, increasing apparent importance or value of a task, and strengthening group cohesiveness. So the correct answer is increasing the pressure to work hard, increasing apparent importance of the task, and strengthening group cohesiveness. Correct answer is option number 1, B, D, and E. Number 37 provides us with two lists. The first part of list 1 states the automatic effort effect, that is known as conformity. Milgram's experiment was based on obedience. Sheriff's experiment was about cooperation, competition, conformity, and Latin and Darley conducted an experiment on social loafing. So the correct answer is option number 2. The act of aggression meant to obtain a certain goal or object is called. Whenever we perform an aggressive act with the means or with the objective of attaining a certain goal, then that type of aggression is called instrumental aggression. So the answer is option number 1. Poverty begets poverty. The poverty cycle explains that poverty tends to continue among the same section of society. Some of the factors that do not lead to poverty are low income and lack of resources. This leads to poverty. Low health and nutrition again leads to poverty. Lack of educational skills causes poverty, and more job opportunities. So more job opportunities is not responsible for poverty. So the answer will be option number 4, more job opportunities. Question number 40. As the teacher was explaining her lesson, she could see Rana lost in his thoughts. When asked to explain, Rana was not able to tell the answer even when he was present and usually gave answer. This is because Rana was only hearing. He was not listening, and that is why he could not explain whatever the teacher said. He was only hearing, but he was not comprehending the same. Until unless the comprehension happens, listening is not possible. So the answer is option number 1, hearing. Yes, let us go through the passage questions. So the passage given to us for questions 41 to 45 is answer the self-report measure that is best suited in this case. So the correct answer for this question is option number 1, EPG. That is rising personality question. Question 42. She appears to be demanding, reckless, aggressive, and unable to delay gratification of needs. These are all characteristics of id, ego, or superego. So, three components of personality were given by Freud, id, ego, and superego. So, id is the one that is demanding, reckless, and unable to delay gratification of needs. It demands immediate gratification of needs. So, the structure of personality that is being talked about here, according to Freud's theory, is id. So, the correct answer is option number one. Question 43. According to Isaac's theory, identify the personality traits she would be high on. So whenever we look at the symptoms that she is displaying, we can easily state that she is high on neuroticism. So the correct answer is option number one, neurotic. Question 44. Identify the projective technique that will allow for the expression of negative thoughts in the form of characters of a story for more intensive understanding. So whenever we are utilizing characters in a story, that means that we are utilizing thematic A-perception test, also known as TAT. So the correct answer is option number two, TAT. Question 45. Identify the techniques that do not qualify as behavioral analysis of personality, behavioral dating, raw person test, interview, MMPI, nomination. So the correct answer is the same is raw a person test and MMPI. These do not qualify as behavioral analysis of personality. Let's read the paragraphs provided to us for questions 46 to 50. Nikita and Ritika are twins. Nikita is intelligent, friendly, and popular among her friends. Ritika is shy, withdrawn, and feels inferior to her sister. As a child, she felt her parents neglected her and was deeply hurt when they made comparisons. As she grew, these feelings of rejection were reinforced when teachers made statements like, "Look how well Nikita is doing. Why can't you be like her?" Nikita's feeling. Now let us look at the questions. First question states, identify the therapy best suited for Nikita. So she suffers from dysfunctional cognitive thoughts. She has dysfunctional cognitive structures right now. So the most effective therapy for her will be Beck's cognitive therapy. So the correct answer is option number three, cognitive therapy that is provided by Aaron Beck. Let us move to question number 47. Dash is the cause of Ritika's problems. So as we just discussed, that the cause of Ritika's problems is the dysfunctional cognitive structures that she has harbored. So the correct answer is option number two. Let us move to question number 48. Which of the following is not correct about the given psychotherapy? In psychodynamic therapy, the therapist is an interpreter. That this statement is correct. In existential therapy, the therapist is the facilitator. Again, this statement holds true for existential therapy. In behavior therapy, the focus is on the past and the present is irrelevant. Now, this statement does not hold true for behavior therapy. In behavior therapy, the focus is solely on present. Lastly, the psychodynamic therapy is the oldest therapy. Again, this statement holds true. So, the statement that is not true is option number three. In behavior therapy, the focus is on present and the past is irrelevant. With this, let us move to question number 49. So the following is true about the therapeutic relationship. The therapeutic relationship is lifelong. Strict confidentiality must be maintained. The therapist must be sympathetic to the client. It is not a relationship based on trust. So, what is true about the therapeutic relationship? We know a therapeutic relationship is not lifelong. Strict confidentiality must be maintained. This statement is true. Therapist must be sympathetic to the client. This is again not true. The therapist must be empathetic towards the client. And it is not a relationship based on trust. It is and should be a relationship based on trust. So the correct answer is option number two, strict confidentiality must be maintained. Let us come to the last question of the paper. We have been given two lists. List one states the types of therapies, and list two states what is treated using those therapies. So behavior therapy is used for treating faulty learning. Psychodynamic therapy is used for treating unresolved childhood fears. Existential therapy is used for treating feelings of loneliness and alienation. And lastly, cognitive therapy is used for treating faulty thinking. So the correct answer to this question would be option number 6. I hope all of this was clear and was helpful to you.